Hello. We're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you for joining us for this webinar on debt recovery. My name is Miguel Florez, and I'm VP of Credit Risk and Analytics Consulting at GDS Link. This topic is very broad, and what we will be focusing on here is specifically what are the critical points to keep in mind in designing a collection strategy that is all the components necessary for account segmentation and recovery action setting. In addition to the topic of debt recovery, I will introduce GDS Link, discuss why this topic should be top of mind, and how GDS Link can help. Please note that this presentation is not meant to substitute formal debt recovery and regulatory legal advice, and it is not meant to be fully comprehensive of all the areas around this topic. Very quickly, before we get started, I would like to briefly introduce GDS Link, if you're not already familiar with our company. We've been around since 2006 with a global presence, and we develop a large set of technology solutions for the entire credit lifecycle, from originations to customer management, fraud, collections, and of course, scoring. We continue to have a lot of success because we're very much focused on the customer's strategic objectives and the lift that our solutions are meant to provide, whether it's compliance, speed to market, controlling fraud or losses, or whatever it may be. We help lenders with collection efforts through multiple ways. I think it's important to highlight why this topic is important. Whether you are a marketplace lender or an established global financial institution, collections will mean different things to you, and you will likely be at a different point in your recovery strategy experience. Regardless, this topic is relevant because, well, in some sectors, delinquencies are on the rise, and your business may have been focusing up to now, to some extent, on originations, portfolio growth, which makes sense. Now, as the portfolio begins to mature, managing collections with equal effort as you do the front end becomes more and more important. According to data collected from the Orchard platform, delinquencies are on the rise for marketplace lenders, for both delinquencies and charge-offs. A comment by the U.S. Treasury I thought was interesting and a concern as well, that new credit models and operations remain untested. So it views the fact that business models and tools that have been developed in an era of low interest rates, favorable employment, and general good credit conditions is an area of concern. Because in essence, existing and new borrowers have not been given a chance to show their true colors. And new emerging industries like marketplace lenders are not equipped, according to them, to handle that rise in delinquencies as one consequence. So the point is, it is a good idea to get ready now for what is happening and what may become even more pronounced. There are many interesting dynamics that are taking place in the marketplace lending industry right now, and we could spend a lot of time just talking about that. But just to highlight a few, we have increasing regulation, certainly greater competition. We've talked about increasing losses, and now upward pressure on pricing. And similarly, we could talk for a long time about the remedies, but these are just a few strategies that GDS Link has come up with to help lenders address these challenges. For the purposes of this presentation, I will focus on the area of how to address higher levels of delinquency, which, although it's spelled out as one of the strategies above, really, it can and should be a consideration across all of them. So let's first try to describe what we are trying to accomplish when we design and implement a delinquency strategy. First, we want to prevent bad debt in the first place, right? Sounds reasonable, easier said than done. Also, we want to maximize pre- and post-charge-off recoveries as well, as minimize the cost to maximize those recovery efforts. Another one, and sometimes overlooked, is that we also want to minimize adverse impact to attrition. So, in other words, get your money back from a customer that you want to keep as a customer for the long term. And one that increasingly takes up more resources, we want to remain compliant while still achieving 1 through 4 above. So with those objectives in mind, the following describes the components, if you will, that are critical to think about in order to achieve those. These are the actual account segmentation, where you separate accounts into different buckets for unique decisioning or treatment. Operations that will drive actions as per your segmentation strategy. Technology that will enable your segmentation and operations. And analytics that will give you the best possible insight into the right level of collection stream. And now we will review each individually. First, your segmentation strategies. And the reason I don't call it necessarily your collection strategy is because combating delinquency and maximizing your recovery efforts should really be a collective effort across all of your strategies across the credit life cycle. Accounts that are late in paying you back or don't pay you at all is going to happen, right? But how do you mitigate that? Well, take a look at the accuracy and consistency across the following front-end strategies and make sure that they're aligned with lowering the probability of loss, the magnitude of that loss, and the overall adverse impact on your portfolio. So I'm referring predominantly to your lead and pre-screen strategies, your approved decline strategies, and risk pricing strategies. Also, make sure you emphasize early warning strategies that allow you to get ahead of some potential future troubled accounts and address accordingly early on. Finally, are your collection strategies themselves comprehensive enough by identifying distinct buckets of accounts and identifying clear, distinct action paths? At a high level, differentiate between accounts that will self-cure and need minor intervention, accounts you should potentially sell or place with an agency, given factors such as cost of recovery and likelihood of recovery, and those that you can actually influence when and how much to pay. In addition to account segmentation, you need to be aligned with the collections operational aspect of the strategies, meaning you need to be confident that there's consistency between the actions that you intend and those that actually take place. So if you intend an account to enter day 10 into a manual high priority calling queue and a text message and a letter to be sent on certain days with a certain severity level, for example, is this actually taking place? One objective of your collection segmentation strategies is to make it as easy as possible for collectors to collect as much as possible. But in order to get there, you need to be aligned with your collection shop, its workflow, the capabilities, incentives, tactics, and objectives. Part of this is being able to capture and utilize queue and collector performance, as well as action performance, so that it can inform future segmentation. In other words, how did the fact that we sent the letter type X on this day to this profile of accounts impact their behavior? Similarly, are you informed and aligned and attuned to how an agency is working your accounts? How do they work them? Are you able to clearly track and test progress? With regards to the technology to support your collection strategy, first, it's important that the technology can support your intended account level actions when referring to a collection system. But second, that the strategy design technology is flexible enough to allow you to react as quickly as needed and provide you with an array of options to action accounts. So with regard to strategy design, a tool that allows you quick segmentation design and implementation, as opposed to, for example, having to coordinate with the IT department for weeks or months to get the job done. Similarly, it's important to have technology that allows you to easily, accurately, and quickly deploy new and improved predictive models, as these are critical to collection strategies. Also, champion challenger capabilities. In order to make quantum leaps in efficiency, you need to be able to deploy and track multiple strategies that test different hypotheses and allow you to gain quick learnings. And finally, a collection system that can capture your intended actions from your strategies and deploy those actions is absolutely critical. In terms of additional capabilities of your collections and segmentations technology, your segmentation strategies and collections technology should sync with regards to reaction to new and real-time information of a given account, and be able to quickly redirect an account to a collections action that is more relevant to that account given that new piece of information. You also need to be able to support a wide array of actions, such as letters, text, manual, auto, calls, etc. This is important from an effectiveness and cost perspective. And last but not least, take advantage of self-service options, where not only for cost reasons, but also greater account segmentation or engagement, you are able to provide the debtor with auto, collector, agent, and negotiation tools. An integral part of your collection strategy is the use of analytics to drive more sophisticated segmentation strategies. So, predictive models and analytics across the life cycle. All of these are critical to achieving the collections objectives outlined earlier. It's a question of how effective they are in separating your good versus your bad accounts, for example. How well do they balance with other growth and profit objectives? And certainly, how quickly and efficiently can you capitalize on what they can do for you, given your technology and operational environment? Again, ensure that predictive models are as accurate as they can be, especially with collections, because the population changes quickly. And in fact, we are actually trying to achieve just that. We are trying to improve the odds of repayment with our actions. Are the models well maintained? And for compliance purposes, are they sound and statistically valid? And are they periodically aligned? Also, for some of you, you may be in a place to go beyond predictive analytics and start to look at things like optimization within your collection strategies. More about this coming up. Finally, it is critical to have a good reporting package at the portfolio, strategy, agency, collector, and Q performance level, etc. This is a big topic, but not having good optics on your current state will prevent you greatly from being as effective as possible. With regards to collections optimization, in designing the collection strategy, we are trying to leverage analytics, technology, and operation in order to accomplish the following tactics. Driving the right account to the right treatment, decide on the most optimal contact method and priority. That is, which method and contact priority relative to other accounts is going to be the most effective that would yield the greatest response from the debtor and cost me less. Also decide on the best account, outsource timing and destination. Decide on how best to align collector incentive programs to my intended collection strategy objectives. Well, all of these aims can lead to very different segmentation strategies that are going to yield very different outcomes. The question is, what is the absolute best possible set of actions that I can take on a set of debtor accounts that will get me closer to my objectives? Well, first, we need to know what your objectives are and what your constraints are in meeting those objectives. What some advanced lenders have done is approach this through optimization. You can apply optimization to identify the best decision for a given business problem, given a series of business objectives and constraints. In this particular case, for example, we can define the optimization task as follows. For example, objective is to increase dollars cured and reduce roll rates, say one cycle roll rate. Constraints: maintain attrition and stay within current collections budget. The outcome is we want to know which accounts to target, when to target them, what actions we need to take, and who is going to collect on them. The graph here illustrates what the exercise can yield. Here we show you where you are operationally and where, given your stated objectives and constraints, can you operate even more efficiently. So in other words, optimization can, if you will, reshuffle the actions you take on your delinquent accounts and provide you with a more optimal set of actions to take that will yield lower roll rates with the same collections resources. So in this particular case, point A, you are getting a lower roll rate for the same base collection resources. And we can show you as well, if you wanted to increase those resources, for example, point B, what your alternative optimal operating points would be on the efficiency frontier that would yield increasingly lower roll rates. We have covered a lot of material in this presentation, but really we've only scratched the surface. And we have done, as we have done for many lenders, GDS Link can provide you with a lot of support in this area, including designing collection strategies to maximize recoveries, collections model development and advanced analytics, design and set up performance tracking, and assess technology gaps and implement collections technology. I hope you have gained a better understanding of debt recovery strategies and, of course, how GDS Link can help. Thank you, and please feel free to reach out for additional information.